we are on the point of natural law school. We have seen the natural law school is studied in four phases: ancient period, medieval period, period of Renaissance, and modern period. Out of which we are on the point of ancient period, wherein we have studied the jurist Heraclitus. He said that why it is necessary to study the natural law, because there is always unstable political condition in the society, and due to this unstable political condition, every person may not be a reasonable one. Every legislature or judicial person may not act as a reasonable person, and therefore it is necessary to have certain ideas of natural law. These idea of natural law aimed at morality and righteous conduct in human life. Without having morality and righteous conduct, person cannot live a human life in its true sense, and therefore it is necessary to study the natural law. Further, the natural law philosophy was developed and continued by Socrates in before Christ period, or in BC 470 to 399 BC. He was a Stoic philosopher. He believed that the truth and moral values are like a natural physical law. And therefore, whenever there is a natural physical law, there is also a natural moral law. Means natural physical law which has a physical substance of the nature, like a trees, sun, soil, water, a river, etc. Like this physical law, there is also a natural moral law which is applicable to human being, and therefore or to the human life as such. Further, he said that why it is necessary to study the natural moral law, because this natural moral law gives rise to the human insight to differentiate between good and bad thing. These human insight, because of this human insight, a person can appreciate his moral. Because of this human insight, we can differentiate between good things and bad things. Okay, further he said there is only virtue. That virtue is a knowledge, and that virtue which is प्युअर वन म्हणजे ज्ञान हे अतिशय पवित्र आहे, हे त्यांनी सांगितलेलं आहे. Therefore, justice is of two kinds: natural justice and legal justice. Natural justice takes place on its own manner, on its own way, whereas legal justice goes through the legal system or through the authority which has been established by the human society or human institutions. Natural justice is based on the human reasoning, whereas legal justice is based on the human reasoning, which is from place to place. Okay. Now, after Socrates, we'll study here the Plato, who have influence in its great significance, 427 to 347 BC, that is before Christ. Plato, being a disciple of Socrates, he was a disciple, or we can say a student of Socrates, and therefore he carried further the theory of Socrates, the theory of Socrates, stating that the ideal state is a republic state. According to Plato, the ideal state is a republic state, means the state which has a republic in nature, or which is republic means for the public, then that state or that society, that legal system is good one. Like a Republic of India means for the people, by the people, and of the people. That is a democracy as such. Therefore, he contended that only intelligent and worthy person should be a king. What he said? Further, he argued that the justice lies in ordaining man's life through reason and wisdom. Justice lies in, he said, justice lies in ordaining man's life through reason and wisdom. Through reason and wisdom. Wisdom means a prudence of a person to decide a particular thing as per the facts and circumstances, as per the situation. Means the time is very important factor while taking decision. Decision shall be in reason and wisdom of a person motivate him to control his passion and desire. This reason and wisdom helps the person or motivate the person to control his passion and desire. His passion and desire म्हणजे ज्या काही महत्वाकांक्षा आहेत, the will or a strong will of the person can be regulated or can be controlled through the reason and wisdom. Means your decision shall be in consonance with the time. You should not neglect the time. Wisdom of the person motivates him to control the passion and desire. Means though you have desire to control to win the world as such, but you cannot neglect the present situation or the need of the time. Further, he said, in his Republic, the Plato has emphasized the need for perfect division of labor. He said, in Republic, there must be a division of labor. Division of labor means there should be separation of power or legislative, executive, and judicial power. The Plato has said that the main theme of Republic is the division of labor. Division of labor means the system of the society shall be based on the division of labor. Means there shall be a separation of power between different wings of the state, that is legislature, judicial, and administrative or executive. This shall be hand over to the different person. Further, he said each man ought to do his work to which he is called upon by his capacities. Means this division of labor shall be based on the capacity of each and every person or capacities of person. The person who is well versed in the field of knowledge or knowledge of law, he must be hand over the duty of judiciary or he must be hand over the duty to make the law. Further, he said every person should mind his own work and not unnecessary meddle with another works. The law of the states are pale shadow of an absolute idea of perfect laws against which man-made laws may be measured. Means he has given his idea of state. Further, after the Plato, we'll study Aristotle. Aristotle during 384 through 322 BC before Christ. He has also given his idea. He was also a Stoic philosopher. He has widened the meaning and scope of natural law. Means he has given a widened scope of natural law. What the Aristotle has said? According to Aristotle, is not merely a knowledge of universal and ultimate laws. According to Aristotle, natural law is not merely a philosophical knowledge. It is not merely a knowledge, but extended to man's insight, which enable him to the absolute eternal moral rules. It is not merely a knowledge, but it extended to man's insight. Man's insight means every person has a vision, every person has consciousness or insight. On the basis of this insight, a person can appreciate the absolute, he believed that there is absolute eternal moral rules. Eternal moral rules means, according to Aristotle, natural law means absolute eternal moral rules. Absolute means which cannot be abrogated. Absolute means which cannot be abrogated in any point of time or by any person, because they are eternal, means they are not or they cannot be abrogated. And therefore he said that the natural law is came with a more logical interpretation of the natural law theory. He has given a more logical interpretation of natural law theory, because according to him, a man is a part of the nature in two ways. He said a man is a part of nature in two ways, and therefore a man has to follow natural law. He said he is a creation of God. Who? A man is a creation of God. God or nature. Like other things, the man or human being is made by a God or by a nature. And at the second place, he says he possesses insight and reason. He means a man possesses insight. Insight means his inner consciousness, and reason to differentiate between good and bad thing. That is reason किंवा बुद्धी जी आपलेली आहे प्रत्येक मनुष्याला, that is reason, which enable him to articulate his actions. Because of this insight and reason, he can articulate, means he can judge, or he can decide whether my actions are good or bad. He can articulate his actions or behavior. Articulate means to appreciate whether my actions are good or in consonance with the social norms or not, and therefore a man is a part of nature, and therefore he has to follow natural law. That is the ultimate aim of Aristotle. Further, he defined natural law as a reason unaffected by desires. According to Aristotle, what is the definition of natural law? Natural law is a reason which is unaffected, or which is separate, unaffected by desires. Means the natural law is a part of reason, and that reason is separate or unaffected by desires. Means whether you wish or not to wish, whether you are of that mind or not, but still you have to follow the natural law, because natural law is a reason, and that reason is insight which articulates actions of every human being or every person. Every person knows whether my actions are good or bad, and therefore The natural law is more practical. The natural law is absolute eternal moral rules which are unaffected by desires, because every eternal moral values or moral rules are based on reasonings. Okay, and therefore according to Aristotle, a personal actions or the actions of the person or of every human being shall be based on a reasoning. Okay. Further, according to Aristotle, the concept of natural law, which is nothing but a reasoning of human being, gives rise to two other basic principles which are very important to live a life in society in a manner. The two principles, the principles are principles of justice and morality. Principles of justice and morality are the outcome of human reasoning. Okay. Further, he said that these justice and morality law or justice and morality have universal validity. These justice and morality have universal validity. Means you cannot deny the justice, and therefore the Martin Luther King Jr. has said injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, because justice is a universal phenomena. It has a universal validity, like morality also has a universal validity. You cannot rule out, you cannot neglect the universal validity of justice and morality. Okay, why it is a universal? Because it is independent of time and place. Why it is universal? Because these are independent. They have nothing to do with independent of time and place. Regardless of time, regardless of place, a justice is a justice in every corner and at every point of time. Once it is an injustice, it is an injustice everywhere. You cannot justify your action later on. Okay. Further, Aristotle has said that the positive law, which is a contrary to the principles of natural law, is invalid. This is a very important statement. The Aristotle has said the positive law, that is the man-made law or a law made by the human institutions, this positive law, which is contrary, or which is against the principles of natural law, which is contrary to the principles of natural law, which is contrary to principles of natural law, is invalid. And what are the principles of natural law? Justice and morality. Okay, always keep it in mind that justice and morality are the basic principles of natural law, and natural law is based on the reasoning, and therefore the Aristotle has said the positive law, which is contrary or against to the principles of natural law, that is principles of natural law, justice and morality are the principles of natural law, and every positive law, that is a man-made law or a law made by the king, the queen, or any human institution like a legislature, judiciary, or executive, if that law is contrary to the justice and morality, is invalid according to Aristotle. Okay. That the positive law should try to incorporate within it the fine principles of natural law. Means every positive law, means whenever the law is made by a human being, that positive law shall incorporate shall incorporate the principles of natural law. Principles of natural law means if the natural law, if the positive law is in consonance with the natural law, then that law will become a successful law. Then only that law is a beneficial for the human being. And therefore, he pleaded that the correct approach is to reform or amend the law. Okay, and therefore it is necessary to amend or reform the law. And therefore, whenever if the positive law has not incorporated any principles or principles of natural law, then that positive law should be amended. And therefore, we can see that in the post-emergency era, the Indian Constitution has been interpreted in a very light of these principles of natural law, that is justice and morality. And therefore, under Article 21, all the rights which are relating to the human life are included under Article 21 of the Constitution of India, that is right to life and personal liberty, because life and liberty is the very basic principles of justice. And moreover, the morality is also included in the concept of law, because without morality there cannot be a law. And if a law does not contain morality, if the law does not contain justice, then that law is invalid law, and such law has to be amended, such law has to be reformed. And therefore, in the post emergency period, that is after 1972, the various decisions of the Supreme Court of India is or are in consonance with the principles of natural law. And therefore, the strict adherence to the legislative law was withered away, or the Supreme Court has denied to implement the strict interpretation of law. Aristotle has suggested that the ideals of natural law have emanated from human conscience. Further, he said that Aristotle has said ideals of natural law, ideals of natural law, where from the natural law is developed, the ideals of natural law have emanated, that is emerged or developed, emanated from the human conscience, from human conscience. Human conscience means his reasoning, his ability to differentiate between good and bad, and not from human mind, and not from human mind. And therefore, they are far more valuable, and therefore, the natural law or the ideals of natural law are more valuable than positive law, because positive law is a development of human mind or human brain. Human brain or human mind may suffer from certain injustice, certain preoccupation, uh, or biased mind, but the conscience is not a biased one, it is a pure. And therefore the natural law which is emanated from human conscience occupies a superior position than the positive law according to Aristotle. Okay, positive law is outcome of human mind. Okay, positive law is outcome of human mind, and therefore it may suffer from certain defect. Human mind may suffer from certain defect because human mind always think about the experiences which he received from the society or from the legal institutions, and therefore human mind may have certain defect. Human mind may have certain defect, or prejudicial in nature, to which we says as a bias character. And therefore the human mind or the human law, therefore human law may have certain shortcomings or defects. That defects, that shortcomings can be sorted out, can be removed by way of human conscience. By way of human conscience means human touch consciousness is superior than the human mind, and therefore the Aristotle has said justice is a virtue which occurs within the state. What is said? The Aristotle has said that justice as a virtue, as a virtue, that is a phenomena, virtue occurs within the state. Means the state has to do justice according to the principles of natural law, and therefore he considered justice as a political virtue. Therefore he said justice is a political virtue because the justice is decided by the state, and therefore the justice is a political virtue. Means justice is based on the political ideologies or the political framework which exists in that particular society or particular political condition as such. And therefore the study of law tends to motivate citizens to engage in activities that express virtues and refrain from actions that express vices. Thus, justice demands that a person, therefore, justice demand that a person or actions of the person shall be guided by reason. Means the action of the person should be a reasonable one. Unreasonable action would result into injustice, and therefore he shall refrain from indulging any acts which are unjust, unlawful, and okay. This is the ideology of Aristotle.